Hi kids, as we completed the part 1 and part 2 of our lesson globe latitudes and longitudes, now we are heading towards the part 3. In part 3 we are going to discuss about longitudes. Now what are longitudes? The imaginary semicircular lines running from North Pole to South Pole are called longitudes. These longitudes are even called as meridians of longitude. Now, if you observe in this picture, clearly we can see that the longitudes are heading from the North Pole towards the South Pole. Okay, now here we have this 0 degree. This is called as the prime meridian. This is the most important longitude. Now, when it comes to the next picture, if you observe here in the year 1884, in the year 1884, by an international agreement, they choose the 0 degree prime meridian. This passes through the British Royal Astronomical Observatory at Greenwich, and this particular Greenwich is a village near London. Now, coming to the important facts of longitudes. What are the important facts of longitudes? Now, the distance between any two meridians is measured in degrees. As we discussed even in latitudes also, the distance between any two latitudes is measured in degrees. The degrees is further divided into minutes and the minutes into seconds. Now, when it comes to the longitudes, we have 360 longitudes. But when it comes to the latitudes, we have only 181 latitudes. Now, when it comes to the longitudes, once again, the 0 degree prime meridian divides the earth into two equal parts. So, we have 180 meridians in the east and 180 meridians in the west. Now, the longitudes are semicircles. Now, when it comes to the longitudes, these longitudes are equal in length, but they are not parallel because they meet each other at the poles. If you observe here, you can see that the longitudes meet each other at the poles. The distance between any two meridians of longitudes is not the same. It decreases steadily polewards where all the meridians meet. If you observe, this is the equator. The distance between any two longitudes will be more near the equator and they steadily decrease as they go towards the poles. The next important point, the prime meridian. As we discussed earlier, we discussed that the prime meridian is the most important and most significant longitude. Now, this particular longitude, it divides the earth into two equal halves, the eastern hemisphere and the western hemisphere. Now, the alphabet E is used to indicate the eastern longitudes and W is used to show the western longitudes. When it comes to the 180 degree longitude, it does not belong to the east or the west. It is called as 180 degree longitude. The next topic which we are going to discuss is longitude and time. Now, the sun is the best timekeeper throughout the world. In the olden days, when the clock was not invented, people used to follow the shadow of the sun to calculate the time, to estimate the time, we can say. So, time is measured on the basis of the relationship between the sun and the movement of the earth. Now, when it comes to the earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation. It passes through 15 degrees in 1 hour or 1 degree in 4 minutes. The earth rotates from west to east. So, every 15 degrees we go eastwards, local time is advanced by 1 hour, and if we go westward, local time is reduced by 1 hour. Now, if you observe this one, it will be a bit clear for us. Now, this particular one is our prime meridian. As we discussed that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, from this particular prime meridian, if we go towards the east, that means if we go 15 degrees towards the east of the prime meridian, the time will be added 1 hour. 1 hour time will be added to the time of this particular prime meridian. For example, now if the time in the prime meridian right now is 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. in 3 noon, 3 p.m. Okay, now if we went ahead 15 degrees east of the prime meridian, that means the time here will be 4 o'clock. In the same case, if we went towards the west side from the prime meridian, we have to deduct 1 hour. That means it becomes 2 o'clock. The local time. The places situated on the same longitude will have the same time, which is called the local time of all these places. Now, local time is calculated by the shadow cast of the sun, that is, shortest at the noon and longest at the sunrise and sunset. For example, when the prime meridian has the sun at the highest point in the sky, all the places along this prime meridian will have the midday. Now, for example, for 24 hours, the Earth the Earth takes around 24 hours for one particular rotation. Now, what is the angle of the Earth? The complete angle is 360 degrees. Now, for 1 hour, if you want to find out how much the Earth rotates, now you have to do a calculation. 360 divided by 24 hours, we will be getting 15 degrees. So, for 60 minutes, the Earth rotation will be 15 degrees. Now, if you want to know the time the Earth takes to pass 1 degree, we have to do 60 degrees by the 15 degrees. We will be getting 4 minutes. So, the time the Earth takes to pass 1 degree will be 4 minutes. The next one is standard time. Now, we have studied that when a particular meridian passes from near to the sun, the time that prevails in that meridian will be the local time. Now, India from east to west lies between 30 degrees of longitude from the prime meridian, meaning 29 different timings in a country. If we calculate time from the prime meridian, it will create confusion. So instead of that, we had a time of our own. For example, the place in the east will have 6 a.m. and the place in the west will be about 4 a.m. because as we discussed that we have 30 longitudes in our country. So 30 into 4 minutes, it will be 120 minutes. When we calculate a 120 minutes into hours, it becomes 2 hours. In order to avoid this confusion, we have adopted the local time of the central meridian of our country, and it is called that is nothing but the Indian Standard Time. When it comes to India, it lies between the longitudes of 68 degrees 7 minutes east and 97 degrees 25 minutes east. So, there are around 29 longitudes that lie between the east and the west. Now, the longitude of 82.5 degrees east or 82 degrees 30 minutes east passing through Mirzapur near Allahabad is taken as the standard meridian, and the local time that prevails on that particular longitude is taken as the standard time for the whole country. This is called as Indian Standard Time. Now, if you observe carefully here we have this Mirzapur, the 82.5 degree east longitude. Okay. The next one is time zones. Now, when it comes to the world, we have around 24 standard time zones, each of which differs from the next in 15 degrees in longitude or 1 hour in time. We have some large countries like USA, Canada and Russia, which have a great east to west stretch, have to adopt several time zones. When it comes to Russia, it is almost having around 165 degree of longitudes, and it is divided into 11 time zones. Both USA and Canada also have 5 time zones. That is the end of the lesson. Thank you.